Hey everybody, so this video is, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, is from September 11th, 2018 through September 18th, 2018. So one of the things I want to say about this is that I just have been feeling, I don't want to, that feeling, I just want to like rest. I mean, I feel like we're coming out of all these retrogrades. It has been an exhausting time. And so what I thought I would do is I'm going to show you actually what the cards look like when they are new, when they come in the box. So you can see, and these are, they are in color order, chakra order, of the 7 modern chakra as we know them. And, a lot of people ask me, why is the 7th chakra, oops, I have it upside down. Why is the 7th chakra a neutral card? And if you notice, there's a border around it that's more silver than violet. And, I had people say, oh, that's not actual chakra. Well, actually, the 7th chakra is actually neutral because it is the spirit chakra. It's a lot of people use it as white light energy. So it does come from the heavens. But let's talk about that energy of I don't want to. And one of the things that I've really noticed is, especially with card reading, especially with the work we do, that one of the things that happens is, and I'm not going to shuffle these because I love them in this order. I'm going to pull a card randomly in a moment, and we're going to talk about the week. One of the things I really have noticed is that the more I don't want to do something, and the more, not so much force myself, but the more I make that commitment to do something, the more I am willing to go deeper. And the more resistant I am to something, the more deeper I end up going. And I don't know what that's about. I think it's because a part of me, if I'm going to be really upfront with all of you, I think that is the difference between our brain and our intuition. So when we look at our brain and our brain says, no, it's not safe, and our intuition says, let's do this, bring it, And I think our brain is always trying to protect us, whereas our intuition is trying to grow us. So they have different, I want to say different agendas. So that said, I think when I'm feeling resistance, and I know when, I can speak for myself and I can speak for my clients that I've worked with, and just say that sometimes when we're feeling resistance, it's because our brain knows we might be going somewhere that's unfamiliar. And what I want to say to you about that is, in our chakra, we are already familiar with who we are. We are already familiar, and one of the things that happens is that our brain says, no, don't look at who you are, because then you'll stay safe. If you always have a terminal vagueness about what's really going on, then you don't have to go deeper and really get into the depth of what's happening inside of you. And, I have found that our wounding becomes our purpose. And I have found that when we know what our wounding is, we actually, and live into it, we can live into our purpose. So let's take a look at these cards. And let's just ask about this week, breaking through some of the resistance and what that's going to look like in our life. What I want to share with you, number one, is that Saturn just went direct. And for those of us that are in a Saturn return, it feels like, oh no, like yesterday, every smoke detector in my house battery died. And it was just that kind of day where it was like, oh, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And it was just like, okay. So I can tell Saturn is going direct because it's coming right back into us. And for some of us, it's challenging. For some of us, it's, not affecting us at all. And why is that? Well, because, not every Mercury retrograde is going to affect you, depending upon where it is. So let's take a look at your cards for the week. Yawn when I energy is moving. And what I want to say is, this is really interesting. I pulled this exact spread on a call with my club recently. So that's kind of bizarre. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The first card is gratitude, and we are doing it in English this week, just because with Saturn going direct, I can't guarantee anything. And one of the things I've noticed about the gratitude card, and I struggled with this card for a long time, and I think it's very normal, by the way, for you to have a resistance to a card, to struggle with something, especially in cards, because they represent something that perhaps we don't like about ourselves in the moment, or we don't want to see, really. But when we look deeper at this card, we can actually see this is actually the largest heart in the deck. And it's also a sixth chakra card. Now, what's interesting about the sixth chakras, we've always thought it's third eye is the forehead. Well, actually the third eye rests between the eyebrows, because that's where our third eye is witnessing our intuitive life. And so when we look at what's going on in the darkness and we touch our third eye with that, and this is a third eye card, we can see that what's in there, at least for me, it feels like a rumbling of discomfort. And I don't know what that's like, meaning I don't know what that means right now. But sometimes when we pull a first card, and I know at the taping of this, East Coast, I know my city, we're bracing for hurricanes. So it's kind of like there's that calm energy, but an underneath rumbling. And the prayer card is a very interesting card, because this is actually, the fable is Cool Lemonade. And it's about a grandfather and his grandson sitting on a porch. And they are reminiscing. He's reminiscing about the road not taken and being happy that he actually was guided by where he needed to be. And I think that's when we look at gratitude, we look at the idea of finding a mentor, finding someone who's done that right before you, finding someone to help guide you through challenging times, whatever's really going on. And I think that's true in some ways. When we look at Lucy, it's called Lucy from Indigo, Lucy who's pregnant, and then we look at her friend, the best friend, and in the fable is actually a dear baby letter. The best friend is writing a letter to the baby. So if we look at all three parts, and we can play all parts in a card, we really don't necessarily need to be, oh, this card means this, but am I Lucy? Am I the one who's pregnant with ideas? Am I the one who is a mentor right now for people? Have I not yet birthed an idea? That may be true for some of us. We haven't. So it's kind of underneath, and that being a mentor to others forces us in some ways to produce an heir, which could be our work, right? So, and we will play all three roles in our lifetime. We will play the baby who doesn't recognize value of the mom yet. And we will play the best friend who actually really admires the way we do things. And we'll also play the person that is bringing forward ideas. So when we look at the third card of acceptance, it's really about accepting who you are, how you are, and why you are. And we use that word acceptance so loosely. And I think a lot of people use it as a bat to beat themselves up. They go, I've got to accept it. And it's like, why? I had somebody in one of my calls, and she was like, I've got to accept this. And I was like, no, you don't. She said, what? I said, not really. If something's not acceptable to you, what opposes exposes. You can sometimes say, you know what? That's not acceptable. And it's okay that it's happening for today. In other words, we can't necessarily do something about everything that's happening in the world. But we don't necessarily need to be in a state of acceptance. We can be in a state of willingness to say, that's not okay with me, and I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do about that. So I think what I'm trying to say is, when we look at some of these energies of the week, and we look at the chakra particularly, we look at sixth chakra, sixth sense. You kind of know what's going on right now. I do. And the third chakra here, yellow, is really about planning and thinking things through. And of course, grounding, being safe, stepping into what is acceptable and what isn't. So this is kind of your message for the week. And if we look at that, it's really, the overall idea is, things are going to happen this week, and you can be in a place with it of, it's not okay right now, but I'm going to be okay. And I think that's an important thing when we look at like a natural disaster happening, like a hurricane or anything that's coming toward us. It really is a time to reach out and be outside of ourselves. And I think that's a very important energy to take on, is that what can I do to support you right now, especially if I'm not in the path of something coming. So I want to send you all lots of love, lots of light, and just wishing you a blessed week. And I will see you next week. Please let me know how things are going for you. I'd like you to write in the comments below. I love when you say stuff because then I get a chance to go hi and all that. So you like it, give it a thumbs up, and definitely subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.